21 things that you will notice coming up short at the grocery store. This and more on The Kilted Prepper. Hey folks, Raymond Mhor here. How's everybody doing? Glad you tuned in. I just want to thank you so much for tuning in this day. And then also I want to thank all my subscribers for checking this video out again. I just want to welcome any new people, folks. Please do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit that button. And then also ring that little bell so that you'll get notified when I am posting up new videos for you. So today, what I've been noticing a lot of articles coming out about food shortages. And some articles had some things, and then some articles had other things. And what I did is I compiled a list, and it came up to 21 items that we're going to probably see short coming up this year in 2023. Now, some of these items you may use, some of these items you may not use. It may not make any difference, but we are going to see a lot of items coming up short. And this is primarily due to the big R and the big U duking it out over in Europe. So the first item is chickpeas. And again, because the big R and the big U are duking it out, chickpeas are coming up short. The big U is one of the main contributors to chickpeas and growing them. And so because of the war, they are not producing. So chickpeas, if you're someone who eats chickpeas, then start picking some up. Now, a biggie is wheat. And again, this is due to the fact of the big R and the big U duking it out again. And then also, this is coupled with exports from India. Exports from India have a ban against it. So exported wheat, they're not going to be doing it. And so we're going to be seeing wheat and wheat products coming up short. Now, a number of things on this list will be affected by wheat. So you're going to be looking at bread, cereal, flour, things like that coming up short. Next item is sugar. And one of the reasons for this is Brazil is actually taking their sugar fields and converting the sugar into ethanol. So instead of creating sugar, they are creating ethanol. And so this is going to severely impact the sugar industry. Next is avocados. And the primary reason for avocados is that there was an inspection done in the Mexico plant, and I guess things just didn't add up very well. So what happened is the U.S. has banned avocados from Mexico until they get their act together and start cleaning things up down there. Now, this has been lifted just recently, but the high prices and still the lack of avocados coming into the country, we are seeing shortages and we are going to see high prices. Next on the list is paper goods. Now again, this is because of the big R and the big U duking it out, and the pulp industry is severely lagging because of the lack of pulp coming into and being exported from these areas. And because of that, anything paper goods. So we're going to be seeing a shortage of paper towels, toilet paper, paper plates, basically anything that will use paper. So start stocking up on your paper goods. Canned goods are going to be a shortage as well. And it isn't because of the food in the cans or so forth. It is because there is a lack and a shortage of aluminum. In 2020 and 2021, manufacturers continue to face an aluminum shortage. And because of this, aluminum is what lines the cans of food cans and things. And then also we have a lot of the drinks like soda pop, beer, and so forth that are in these aluminum cans. So there is a severe aluminum shortage. So start looking for anything such as canned goods or aluminum cans to be shorted out in 2023. And as many of you know, beef and beef byproducts are also due to a big shortage. There was a gigantic drought in Texas, and Texas is one of the primary ranchers or providers of beef. And due to this drought, a lot of the ranchers had to sell off their cattle early and also go into their breeding stock and got rid of a lot of their breeding stock as well. And when you pull from that breeding stock, you're not replenishing the herd. And it takes about 10 years to replenish a herd back to the standard that you had prior. So beef prices are severely going up. And we've been seeing this at the store already. It's insane prices. And as if you didn't know already, poultry and eggs, and this is primarily due to the avian flu and a lot of the culling of the flocks of chickens. And so egg prices have been going up severely. I just did an article on this. If you haven't seen this article, check it out. Right there, go check out that article. And I talk about also how to preserve eggs and stretch them out. I teach how to powder eggs, I teach how to pickle eggs, and then also water glassing eggs. That is if you produce or you have chickens. If you have chickens, then you're able to water glass, but you cannot water glass store-bought eggs. But you can pickle them, and you can dehydrate and powder them. So chickens and eggs are on this list. And again, we've been seeing the prices. I just was in Walmart the other day, and an 18-pack of extra large eggs were $8.95. So it's getting crazy out there, folks. Now, another one that's been hit hard is pet food. And a lot of you have been reporting in that you've been seeing shortages in pet food too. And this is a twofold situation. One, pet food utilizes wheat and grain products to create the pet food. And then also, two, wet pet food needs cans. And because there's an aluminum shortage, pet food is one of the first markets that are going to be affected because they're going to divert a lot of the aluminum to human food versus pet food. So start stocking up on your pet food big time. I know that that's what we're doing, and so we try to have at least 90 days worth of pet food on hand at all times. And so same thing for you. If you can do it, do it. And then also look at keeping your pet food in some of these bins with gamma lids. And then what we do too is we add oxygen absorbers to our pet food to help lengthen the time. Now, pet food will go rancid, and I'm talking about dry dog food, pet food, but this will go rancid. But by putting in oxygen absorbers and things, it'll help extend that period a bit. So pet food is getting a double whammy. One, because of the lack of cans and aluminum, but two, the grain products that is put into pet food, wheat and corn. And again, corn is also on this list. As well as some of you know, baby formula. Baby formula is really big on the list because Abbott Labs had to recall a bazillion cans of baby formula, and which caused a shortage. They are still trying to catch up with this and everything, but baby food prices, or the baby formula prices, have been going through the roof due to this shortage, and they are still feeling it. They are still projecting that 2023 will be very high prices and difficulty finding baby formula. Now, this is one that doesn't affect me much, but wine and champagne. They've had several diseases taking place, as well as supply chain issues. And then also a number of producers actually cut back on production of wine due to the COVID situation. And because of that, we are now going to start seeing shortages of wine and champagne. So if you drink wine and champagne, you might want to stock up. Beer. Beer is on this list, again, for a twofold reason. One, because beer is sold in aluminum cans and there is the aluminum shortage. But two, what they use to make it all fizzy is CO2. And CO2 shortages are really coming up and affecting not only the beer industry, but the soda industry as well. So anything that may use CO2, start looking for shortages in that area as well. Lettuce, and this is a biggie, and we've been seeing this take place already in the restaurant industry. Restaurants are having a shortage of lettuce, and so prices for a salad at restaurants have been going up. And then also we've been seeing shortages of salad bags and also lettuce itself. In fact, my last video, I showed basically a softball size head of lettuce. Now, it was an organic size lettuce, but $2.69 for a head softball size of organic lettuce. And this is primarily due to the neurotic spot virus that is affecting crops all over the nation, primarily in California. And then another thing that's affecting the lettuce industry too is that drought that's been taking place. Now, California is getting a lot of water and rain right now, but it isn't the growing season. So hopefully they will be able to bounce back. But projections for 2023 says that there will continue to be a lettuce shortage due to the neurotic spot virus and the drought. Oranges and orange juice. And again, this is primarily due to Hurricane Ian that went through Florida and just wiped out a lot of the orange farms. And then also Tropical Storm Nicole came right behind it and knocked it out again. So a lot of oranges come out of Florida, Florida grown orange juice. It has caused a severe lack of oranges to be produced in the Florida region. Again, with California backing it up, California's been dealing with drought and so forth, and so the orange production there has been pretty minimal as well. So start stocking up on frozen orange juice and start dehydrating some of those oranges and freezing oranges if you're an orange person. Cooking oils, and let me just name this. Oilseed crops such as soybeans, sunflower, peanut, rapeseed, and canola are all raw minerals to make cooking oil. The majority of oilseed crops are harvested in Russia and Ukraine. And again, because these guys are duking it out and everything, crops are not being planted, and therefore not being harvested. So there's going to be becoming a shortage in cooking oils. So start stocking up on some of those as well. Bottled water, because of the droughts and such taking place in central and western United States, groundwater has been drying up. I don't know if you guys have been seeing pictures or video of the Colorado River, and then also Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is at its all-time low, and it's getting to a point where Hoover Dam is not going to be able to produce electricity. So we're seeing a trickle-down effect due to the lack of water in the central to western United States. But bottled water is starting to become affected, and we'll see higher prices and shortages in 2023. Tampons, and again, this goes back to the big R, big U, and the whole pulp, paper pulp situation. Paper pulp as well as cotton. The big U produces a lot of cotton, therefore, because of the situation going on there, again, harvesting is not taking place, plants are not being put into the ground or anything like that, and so the cotton crops are being severely affected. So we're going to start seeing a shortage of tampons in 2023. Now this one is kind of hitting close to home. Sriracha. And, you've seen those chili jars, a little rooster on them and everything. Chili is being affected as well because the spring weather in Mexico has led to severe shortages, and because of this, sriracha and chili paste is becoming shortage. And I know this for a fact because my wife Cynthia loves her chili sauce, and we've been having a hard time finding it. And we used to be able to get, like a big jar of it or the big bottle of it and everything, and they have just basically disappeared. All I've been able to find are just these small bottles of sriracha or chili sauce, and so I know this one for a fact. So what we've been doing is whenever we see it, we do stock up. Butter, and this is due to the fact, again, grain is coming up short and so forth, and because of that, cows are not being fed, they're not going to be producing milk. And so milk and butter have been going up, but primarily butter. Butter already went up in 2022 12%, and they are expecting it to go up 19% in 2023. And this is again due to the labor issues and getting into the market and then just feeding the cattle, period. And to kind of follow that up, corn, and we mentioned wheat earlier, but corn and wheat are the two staple grains that take place that we in America, as well as the world, use for feed as well as for human consumption. And with these two items coming up short in 2023, anything that uses wheat, anything that uses corn, start looking for shortages, start looking for higher prices. Tomatoes. And again, this goes back to the droughts in California. The harvest in California has been pretty minimal, and so we're seeing a severe shortage of tomatoes. And tomatoes do come a lot out of California. And if there's no tomatoes, then there's no ketchup, there's no spaghetti sauce, there's no tomato paste. And so the tomato industry has been severely affected. And it says the U.S. Department reported in August 2022 that the lack of rain could prove particularly terrible for tomato farmers. Production forecasts have dropped 2%, and tomatoes available, due to the lack of yield, this would cause less and less tomatoes to be used in production for 2023. The reason is because last year's crops is what we are using this year, and since that drought severely affected the tomato farmers and so forth, we are going to start seeing a lack or a shortening of tomato products, ketchup, tomato sauce, again. And then probably the most concerning is prescription medicine. And a lot of people have been talking about this already. I watch Southern Prepper 1, and he does Boots on the Ground, and he talks a lot. He has people writing in all the time about how prescription drugs are being harder and harder to find. And so, if you can, try to start maybe getting some extra of prescription drugs or so forth. This is a tough one, but it's primarily being driven by supply chain issues and, raw materials, raw chemicals, and so forth. The supply chain is really messing things up. And so prescription drugs is going to be a biggie. Well, folks, I hope that you liked this video. Do me a favor and subscribe, like, and share this video. Tell others about it. Please share this with folks so that folks will understand what 21 things are going to come up short in 2023. It is super important. And things that you could do is, again, prepare, keep stocking up that pantry, buy a little extra every time you go to the grocery store and everything. 2023 is going to be a rough year. And again, with the lack of fertilizer, the higher prices of seed and so forth, and then also energy costs, the diesel to run the tractors and everything, we are going to really see diminished crops in 2023. I'm very, very concerned about this. And what that will do, because what we produce this year is what we will be eating in 2024. And if we're not producing as much, then 2024 is going to be even worse and more detrimental. So I strongly encourage you guys to continue to prep, keep building up that pantry. Put in a garden, folks. I'm going to be starting to do some more gardening videos and everything here soon and getting our garden going. So I'm going to share what we are doing. I'm going to be doing something called winter sowing, and I'll be sharing with how you can get basically your veggies and stuff in the ground, or at least started a month earlier than what maybe the seed packets and everything say. So, put in a garden, rip up that backyard and start gardening. It will help you augment that grocery bill big time. So I'm encouraging that big time. I'll be sharing a lot of tools and a lot of things that I use and everything. So for example, I was just cleaning this off the other day, and I wrote about this in a recent article. This is my Mhor, and it's all nice and clean. I'm getting it ready for this year. But this is a great tool, and I love it. Acts like a trowel. I can chop with it. I can, saw with it. I pry with it. I had a cheapy one, and the reason it broke is I was prying out a root ball, and it just bent right here at the handle. But this is made by Bare Bones, and I love this Mhor. Very thick, very hard. It just is an incredible gardening tool. It is a little pricey. I want to say it was about $45 on Amazon last time I looked, and then it may have gone up more, but a while back when I was doing research for my article, I think it was about $45. But a great gardening tool. I use this thing all the freaking time. So folks, do me a favor again, like, subscribe, and share. I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And again, thank you all of my subscribers and the wonderful community that we're building here. Again, check out my website, RaymondMhor.com, or you can also go to thekiltedprepper.com, and it'll take you to the same website. But take some time, read my articles. I'm really working hard. Everything there is free. It's important to me that I educate. I want to create more preppers in the prepper community. I'd rather have more allies than enemies. And so the more preppers that can be out there, the better. And if you have any questions or any comments, please comment below, as well as if there's something that you would like me to talk about or research or something, let me know and I'll do a video just for you. So that's everything, folks. My name is Raymond Mhor. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless. And kilt on.